Good morning. Welcome back to Hiking with Kathleen. Here we are in Lake Superior Provincial Park. This is Rabbit Blanket Lake. And today, Shannon and I are going to go hiking on the Old South Woman Trail. Beautiful trail just across the highway. And tomorrow we're going to take a look down at Katherine's Cove. Beautiful campground. We were here 2 years ago and the adventure continues. Hope you stay. So Shannon and I are just getting ready to go on the South Old Woman's Trail, which is just across from the park. So we just walked from the gateway of the park, and now we're just heading towards that little hiker sign. So this is a really beautiful trail. We hiked it 2 years ago, and we are really looking forward to getting on it again because there's beautiful waterfalls, just a beautiful setting. What we love doing here is stopping whenever there's some sort of a breathtaking scene. And there are many of them along this trail, which is about 2.5 kilometers long. So we go up one side of this South Old Woman River, and we come up the other side. The only time we like the sound of traffic is at the end of a hike. So we're really happy to be back here in Lake Superior Provincial Park. We had great memories when we spent about a week and a half here 2 years ago. You can look up that under camping trip for 2021, and we spent a lot of time in our kayak. It was an inflatable kayak that we spent on Rabbit Blanket Lake. So that's something we're probably not going to do this time. We have our folding, our collapsible kayaks, but we probably aren't going to spend time out in them because we aren't here for very long. We've got 4 more nights, and then we're moving on to Killbear, our next provincial park adventure. But anyway, this is beautiful. The wind is up, so the bugs are down, and that was something we were really looking forward to, is having fewer bugs, because, you know, it was 2.5 weeks of living with this thing all zipped up, my bug shirt. So anyway, it's quite comfortable and not very buggy right now. But I'm going to show you the beautiful sights. Last time we were here, we climbed Peak Mountain. 2 days ago, we trekked up, well, I guess maybe it's 3 days ago now, Sleeping Giant. We're still hobbling around from that. Probably mostly from the falls that we took on our bikes. But that adventure you can see in the last video for Sleeping Giant, part 2. We have part 1 and part 2. But anyway, I'll show you the beautiful sights we can see right across Rabbit Blanket Lake. So Shannon and I just finished doing a walk down to the water, which is Rabbit Blanket Lake. And the mountain, which we hiked 2 years ago, called Pete's Mountain, was really cool because at times when we were looking at it, it was covered with mist near the top of it. And so anyway, we really enjoyed taking some pictures. I was videoing. And as we were walking back to our site, we ran into a really nice couple, Larry and Ann from Sault Ste. Marie. And they gave us all kinds of wonderful tips because they've been camping in this area for the last 40 years. And anyway, we really appreciate that when people extend themselves. He just started asking questions regarding the cameras I was carrying. And so we got talking about our camping experiences. And they mentioned, have we been to shoots? And we said, well, that's the video. That's actually the current one. But anyway, so I just wanted to do a shout out to Larry and Ann because it was a pleasure meeting them and they were full of great information. So anyway, we're getting dinner plans underway. We're gonna have steak. Shannon's gonna have salmon, and there'll be potatoes and asparagus. So we're looking forward to cooking that up and sitting down to enjoy that. So that's where I'm cooking my steak medallion that's encased in bacon, and over here is where we have the asparagus. The potatoes were cooked inside in the microwave oven because they're going to be served as baked potatoes. Shannon made all this happen inside. So she is the one who does a lot of the prep. So this is her salmon. And then of course we have mushrooms. And the mushrooms we put on both the steak and on the salmon. So I like my steak medium rare. So I'm very careful to just cook all around the outsides and save cooking the flat surfaces at the very end because I just want to make sure it's not overcooked. I like it where it still has some blood. That's where I find the meat is the most tender. We like that. We like to have our vegetables al dente. So that's how the asparagus is going to come out. We like it a little bit undercooked. Good morning. We're just heading into the Agawa Visitor Center, which is located in the Agawa Campground, which is just the other part of Lake Superior Provincial Park. But it took us like 30 minutes or so to get here. That's how far apart things are in Lake Superior Provincial Park. It's a big park. Shannon and I enjoyed going to the visitor center. We always like to do that and support the bookstore, the nature store, and go and look at the exhibits and speak to the staff. And it was kind of a fun thing for me. I was speaking with a staff member who is originally from the Windsor area, which is my hometown. So Anyway, yeah, we really enjoyed our time. And now we have more information to go on, and we're going to have a look through the area.
Look at that. And then that's their interpretation of it.
So we're going to go and have a look at the pictographs that are along the coast of Lake Superior. So they always advise that if there's been wave action or rain, that the rock ledge is very slippery. So we've had a really clear day over the last 24 hours, so we should be in good shape. The trail itself is not very long. They do say that it's difficult to get to, as in moderate level. So, and it's just because we have these rocks to climb over. But I think that yesterday's hike on the old South Woman's Trail was more rugged than this. And it's very possible that the Sleeping Giant hike that we went on the other day was a little bit more rugged too.
Just a little bit.
Death and injury have occurred when highly unpredictable waves have washed visitors off the rock. Yeah, I mean, they're not messing around. They're making you aware that this is a risk you're taking. What was your comment about the mountains and stuff, honey?
I said, I just want you to know that I'm not climbing any more mountains. I don't think my body can take that anymore.
Okay. Well,
If I had longer legs like yourself, then maybe.
no more mountains today, for sure.
I'm not a mountain goat. See, moderate trails are enough for me, right?
Yep.
You don't need my hiking clothes. Holy shit balls. Like, what the hell? I'm having flashbacks of the giant. This isn't good. You realize we have to climb this on the way up, right? Are you taping?
So if you're going along that coastal trail, I think the whole coastal trail is like 37 kilometers, and it's regarded as very difficult. And that's just, I think, the length of it. It's also one that takes 5 to 7 days to go through. So that's not the direction we're going. We're headed this way to where the sign says pictographs, and it's only another 250 meters to get there.
No bugs. Isn't that a nice retreat?
It's a relief. We made it. And Lake Superior is really close. I'll show you.
I don't want to go any I had people almost knock me over to get past.
So that trip was a success, so that's great. If you're ever considering doing this, be aware. People are there to sort of get their picture and move on to something else. So they aren't waiting. You have to ask them. You say, I'm waiting in line to take pictures, just like all the people in front of me. And then they realize, oh, okay. But people are in a rush, and it's rocks. But when you're also close to the shore of Lake Superior, there's no mulligans. There's no second chance. So anyway, people were doing their family pictures and everything, like large groups of people. And it's dangerous for the rest of us. So just be prepared. If you come earlier, that's better.
And this one here, the one I'm holding, Audrey is an introvert, and she likes being in that little, like,
Yeah.
backpack
Do you
thing
see
I
the
was saying.
strollers that people have for their cats? Awesome, you made my day.
Oh, I'm so glad.
No matter
Enjoy.
what she says, I'm not carrying a cat on my back. Wow, there's so much beauty here. We just parked in a parking lot for the Sand River Trail. We're going to head out there in a few minutes. But we wanted to stop and have a look at Lake Superior and all of the beauty with the rocks. There's a lot of geology you can learn about in terms of how this area came to be when you go to the visitor center of the Agawa Campground of Lake Superior Provincial Park. And as long as you're camping in Lake Superior Provincial Park, your pass is good for any one of the trails you want to stop by. You just have your park pass on the dashboard, or day pass if you have one that's like the one that I have for Ontario Parks. So we're at Katherine's Cove, and we're just looking for a good spot to have our lunch. It's kind of nice, we have it to ourselves, and yet the parking lot is full. How's this? Is this good? Okay.
That's good.
This is it. So there are some bugs that are right around here, and it's because there's pockets of water that have come in from Lake Superior, gathered in the rocks, and are safe from fish eating them. So that's of course where mosquito larvae and other insect larvae will be able to thrive because they're protected until they metamorphose into some sort of an adult form. But there are also little fish that are taking advantage of these little pockets of water because they're warmed up by the sun. So they're also protected from predators like larger fish. So there's some of those that are, in this vicinity. And that was really cool too. I saw that snake skin. The way that snakes grow is they grow beyond the size of the existing skin, and new skin underneath is already larger to accommodate their growing size. So they shed their skin and they leave that behind. So anyway, this is like all of these micro ecosystems, and I love looking through here just to see if there's... Last time I was here, I found frogs that were gathered in one of these little pools of water. So they found each other. I haven't been lucky enough to find frogs or tadpoles, but just fish and insect larvae. Shannon and I enjoyed eating our lunch together, and so she's just enjoying her time here in Katherine's Cove. This was very important for her to get back to here. She was inspired to do some art based on the appearance of the cove and the rocks, and she also stepped into Lake Superior. We did that together 2 years ago. This year she brought her water shoes and went in and told me how frigid the water was. She couldn't stay in it. Apparently the water around here warms up by August. Some people are hardier and they can go into it before that time. We were reading at the visitor center at Agawa Bay that the average temperature of Lake Superior is 4 degrees. So that would be over the course of the year. I guess when August rolls around, it warms up to about 14.6 degrees Celsius. Eee, that's cold. Thanks for joining us on Hiking with Kathleen. This concludes the time that we're spending at Lake Superior Provincial Park. Tomorrow is the day that we're going to pack up to get ready to take off the next day, and we are heading to Kilbear Provincial Park. So I hope you join us next Tuesday morning for that upload. Bye for now. Well, this is a wrap for today's video, and
I'm just waiting for you.
you're just waiting for me, okay. Yeah.